All right, Cardinals fans. Are you ready? Because I'm not sure I'm ready. This is the climax to a movie that has had you on the edge of your seat all year long. This is the resolution, potentially, to a story in a book that you've been trying to find the answer to the problem all book long. The Seattle Seahawks, listen, would you have thought at the beginning of the year that in week 14, the two teams battling for the NFC West crown would be, checks my notes, the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals? Well, here we are, and that is why they call it Any Given Sunday. This is the biggest game so far in the Jonathan Gannon era. This is a permanent record game for Kyler Murray. This is a benchmark and a checkpoint that the Arizona Cardinals better bleep and pass. Even if, spoiler alert, I don't have that much confidence or really either way on who's going to win this game. But let's start here. The defense is just good. We're just going to call it what it is. The defense is no longer bad. The defense is good. Now, I understand people are going to say, well, yeah, idiot. We've seen the defense be really good. Don't try to be a wise guy here. This defense lacks talent. It just does. Or at least so we thought. Garrett Williams is pretty good. Sean Murphy-Bunting played pretty good last week. Starling Thomas, pretty good. Elijah Jones will be back. Max Melton has been good for a rookie, which you have to grade on a curve, especially in the cornerbacks. The defense is good. The defense is just good. I have no faith in the pass rush, but when you combine some of these guys that have really shown what they can do defensively with Nick Rollis and with Jonathan Gannon, it's just a good defense. And that's just what we have to hang our hat on. They're just a good defense. I'm not going to get surprised anymore if they hold Geno Smith to 12 points or if they hold the Minnesota Vikings, an elite level offense, to 22 points. They're just a good defense now. I'll be disappointed now. Maybe I won't be disappointed, but I'll be a little let down if this team lets up 30 points on the Seattle Seahawks team. Let's focus in on the offense. We understand the defense needs to get after Geno. They need to force timely turnovers like they've done all year. They need to do their part, but I believe they will. Before I get to Kyler, and everyone wants me to get there, that is not the main story of this week. It is not. This is an all or nothing week, and I hate to put it that way, but it's a massive, massive benchmark. But for Arizona Cardinals OC Drew Petzing, it is now or it is never. If Drew Petzing doesn't figure out the offensive issues this week, he's got to be gone. And there is no turning back from that. There is none. The absence of Marvin Harrison Jr. in big stretches, can't have that. The favoring Michael Wilson over Marvin Harrison Jr., I'm not so sure what the identity of this offense is. It is now or never for Drew Petzing. And if the Arizona Cardinals offensive coordinator, Drew Petzing, does not figure it out this weekend, does not have an all-or-nothing weekend, he should be fired. This is a massive game. And one of the few things that I do not understand is it is clear Drew Petzing does not trust Kyler Murray. Now, this is not because Kyler Murray is a bad quarterback. I have watched every game of the Arizona Cardinals this year, and likely if you're watching this video, you have too. There is no reason for Drew Petzing not to trust Kyler Murray, so he better trust him this weekend. Kyler is not making boneheaded decisions consistently throwing the ball to the other team. Now, does he have bad throws? Everyone does. Does Kyler need to scale back a little bit on those? Sure. But for the most part, Kyler is making the most of his shots downfield, and I don't remember a lot of them that went poorly outside of the Byron Murphy pick last week. He's got to be more creative. He has got to have the ability to throw the ball downfield, and he has got to be a more balanced attack offense. Just has to be. There has to be a much better mix-up of run and pass. Because what we can't have this week is the Seattle Seahawks do exactly what they did 2 weeks ago, which is completely throw you in for a funk, stop your run game, make Kyler Murray uncomfortable. You need to figure it out. So that's the Drew Petzing thing. Drew Petzing has to be better this week. The offense has to be fixed. There is no improvement. They need to win this game, and they need to win this game partially, maybe even solely, because the offense figured it out. Now, here's another thing. Before I get deeper into Kyler, I just want to harp on this continuously, because this is not just the Drew Petzing thing. This is a Jonathan Gannon thing. The Arizona Cardinals need to trust Kyler Murray. This is a permanent record game for Kyler Murray. This is I'm going to point to this game and say whether you should believe in Kyler or whether you shouldn't believe in Kyler. Because this is for the division, and this is likely for a spot in the playoffs. Or I guess I should say clearly will be a spot for the playoffs to win the division. But this game is for the division and for a spot in the playoffs, I guess I should say. They need to trust their star quarterback. They need to let him rip it downfield. And if there is another incident like last week where they have a chance to score a touchdown and put the game away or kick a field goal and go up by 6 points, they need to trust their quarterback, Kyler Murray, to make that play and end the game and go for it on 4th down and put the opposing team away. And on the inverse, this is not just me saying, oh, you got to trust your guy. That is not what I'm doing. Kyler needs to answer the bell. These coaches need to trust Kyler Murray, but Kyler Murray needs to answer the bell. As I said before, this is a permanent record game. This is where I am going to point to Kyler and say, this is why you should believe in Kyler, because look at what he did against the Seahawks in 2024. Or this is why you shouldn't believe in Kyler, because look at what he did against the Seahawks in 2024 when it mattered. Kyler needs to show up when it matters. Kyler needs to be consistent when it matters. And this is for the division. This is a chance to rectify all the wrongs you've done. You win this game, you take care of business the rest of the way for the season, you're going to be in the playoffs. But Kyler needs to outplay Geno Smith. And Kyler needs to beat this Mike McDonald defense that was just crushing him 2 weeks ago. And we've had 2 straight weeks where Kyler has had awful interceptions. And what have I said about this page, guys? This ain't a fan page. This isn't a fan page. You want honesty? I'm going to give you honesty. And I'm going to praise Kyler when I need to, and I'm going to go after Kyler when I need to. The last 2 weeks, he's had 2 atrocious interceptions. Those cannot happen. They simply cannot happen this week. The Kobe Bryant interception was brutal, awful, can't happen, turned the game on its head. The Byron Murphy interception was horrendous. Throw the ball out of bounds, be smarter. Kyler's had 2 of those. None this week. Kyler needs to show up. This is a permanent record game. Last week I said last week might have been the most important game of Kyler Murray's career. This is the biggest spot, and that should make you nervous. That should make you nervous as a Cardinal fan, because you are about to learn a lot about Kyler Murray if the coaching staff trusts him, and if they don't, maybe that tells us stuff as well. But you're about to learn a lot more about Kyler Murray than maybe you bargained for. And then just a side note, get Marvin Harrison Jr. involved. This isn't a Lamborghini that we just drive out during the summertime when everything's perfect. Marv drops passes sometimes, but I'm not going to go after Marv because of that, because oftentimes when you go away from your star receiver for a really long time, he's not in the game plan, he's not involved, it's hard for him to stay warm. Go after him early, go after him often, and attack this vulnerable Seahawks defense that is vulnerable. That secondary, outside of Julian Love, is a little shaky. I understand the Devin Witherspoon's pretty good. Tariq Woolen is a little overrated. Kobe Bryant, still a young guy. The Cardinals need to answer the bell. This is a massive check mark. I can't, people want a preview. People want, attack this, attack that, which kind of things I've already said. But if there's one thing you've gotten from this video, if there's one thing you've gotten from this segment, guys, this is the biggest Cardinals game since the playoff game a few years ago. And before that, this might be even bigger than a bunch of those other games. This is a huge game for Jonathan Gannon, as he needs to trust his star quarterback, Kyler Murray. This is a big game for Drew Petzing to figure out the bleeping offense as well as trust Kyler Murray. And this is a ginormous, huge, the biggest game of Kyler Murray's potentially career, and I'm going to say probably the most important game of Kyler Murray's career. All those guys need to answer the bell. And this is not like this is an impossible task. This is not like going into Minneapolis, which you should have won, beat a Vikings team that's on fire and has a really good offense. No, it's not what this is. Beat a Geno Smith-led team. Beat a Mike McDonald rookie coach-led team. Go beat the Seahawks. Take care of business. And then we'll all be good. I really hope I'm sitting here on Sunday, and I will. I always have a post-game reaction. Working on a guest for that. Don't want to put it out there so far because, we'll see how that happens. But I do not want to be sitting here on Sunday because Drew Petzing didn't trust Kyler. It's the same issues we've had before. Jonathan Gannon didn't trust Kyler, and Kyler didn't answer the bell. So there's your preview. You want to know the keys to this game? Win. Win. It's all there is to it. You're favored in this game. You're at home. The opposing team has Geno Smith as their quarterback. Answer the bleeping bell.